That's Brooks. And that was the highlighted player, Olivia Brooks, for the game, and she's been successful. Take a look at the scoreboard in the LEC today. The Washington Capitals have beat New England College, and UMass Boston also got a win today as well.
Sticks banging on the boards once again. Puck is dropped for the start of the second period between the Cadets and the Owls. Here is Brooks now moving in. Nice move in on goal. Chung makes another save. Puck's too loose out in front. What a start to the period there. Here's Hunter now. Across the Ammons. She'll fire one in. Chung makes the pad save. Behind the net, Brooks. That one knocked away. Price. A little miscommunication there. Couldn't get to it. Good now battling in the corner. And Tosca will wrap that one around. Hunter gets to it. And kept in by Olivia Boyer.
Virtually the same start to this period as we saw the last period. 2 early saves coming from Chung.
We saw Norwich's goal 48 seconds in. That pass out in front, no one home. And Molly Price will chip that one off the boards and down ice. However, icing is called, too much on it. And 57 seconds into the second period, an offensive zone face-off coming up for Norwich.
Only difference between, like I mentioned, how similar the first period was from the second period so far. The biggest difference coming now is the fact that Norwich did not score in that first minute. Yeah. Well, granted, they still got 3 seconds to get there. Now they did not score in the first minute.
Off the draw, it's Tuzik. Good pick there by Price. The puck goes out of the zone. Chasing after it is Brianna Finke. Tuzik will get there first. She'll skate behind her own net. Finke's still there with pressure. And now here comes Lisak. Making a move. Lisak in on goal, and Chung sticks out the pad. Now a body check in the corner's thrown. We play on. Stewart now battling for it. Ian Tosca there as well. McNeil chips that one out. It's just spectacular after spectacular save from Ai Chung so far.
Yeah, Lisak kind of mishandled the puck there. Didn't get the best shot off, but at the end of the day, it was Ai Chung who really stood tall.
Catching that with the end of her pad, maybe the blade of her skate even.
Could have been.
Here's Ellie Patrick. She'll dump that one into the corner. Norman's the first one there. She'll wrap it around. Chipped by. And miscontrolled by DeMeo. Patrick gets there. Delayed offsides for Norwich. As Winsbickler, has to go get her stick. That one dumped in. Off the referee. Or maybe it caught the Owls bench. It will go out of play. And so we will get a neutral zone face-off.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that hit the referee or not there. By the way she reacted, I don't think it did. But it looked like from our vantage point that it did. That doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, I think he may have caught the padding at the end of the Owls bench there right before the glass reforms. But all in all, off the draw. It's won by Norwich. That one thrown down, and icing's waved off there. And kept in. That one played back off the stick of Chung. Battling for it, Wiseman. As well as Tabby Jones and D'Souza. Wiseman around the net. Out front lane. That one chipped back down low by Hutmaker. D'Souza battling, as well as Tilde Bistrom. Now players going down. Puck still frozen, and the whistle is blown as we had no movement.
Yeah, that was just kind of a stalemate there. It seemed like nobody could really get their stick to the puck to get it out of that scrum.
I mean, usually those scrums, you usually see them end even after a long time, they will go away, but it's a rare sight you see that a whistle is blown because the puck is frozen under multiple players.
I think once the players started falling down, they probably fell on top of the puck there.
And that pass off a skate, dangerous play there, but now up top, here's Emmons. Boyer. Here's Hunter now. Cross ice, Ammons at the point. A shot saved by Chung. That one really didn't catch too much of her, but she was able to get the last piece of it. Here's Hunter, a nice move. Centering pass, still loose out in front, and goes to the corner. Now there's another chance out in front. The puck's still there. Brooks shoots, she scores!
What a play there by Brooks. First at the time, she tried to set up Olivia Boyer for that first shot, ended up getting saved, and then right back to Brooks. She slots it home to give them the lead.
Chung was down. Now this position, Olivia Brooks took advantage of it with a spin around shot, and she'll give Norwich the lead once again.
Unlucky there for Chung. 22 saves later, she lets in her second goal of the night.
I mean, you really thought in the first period, obviously, with how much Norwich is out shooting Keene State, you thought they were going to break by her, but they didn't in the first period, at least after the first 19 seconds. That one saved by Chung. The rebound handled. The puck still loose out in front and cleared down ice by the Owls. What a scary situation there. Will be an icing. And now just like that, Norwich with really a lot more prime chances.
Yeah, Olivia Brooks, that girl that we did highlight in the game to start, now gets that go-ahead goal.
That's her first of her junior season, 37th of her career. Here's Norman. McNeil in pursuit. Back is Lauren Tuzik.
Yeah, Brooks scored 21 goals her freshman year, 15 only last year, and then now's got her first one.
There's another chance. Puck still loose. Now we're off the side of the cage. A centering pass. Still alive. Norman gets it out of danger. No icing here. As Leslie will get to her first. Chipped off the boards. Here's Lisa. Good play there by D'Souza. Making a move behind her neck. Good play there. Another one too strong on the touch, and Norwich will take it back. Here's D'Souza now once again. Trying to get some fresh ice, and it's taken away by the Cadets. One too many men to beat. A good pressure here by the Owls. As Wiseman will chip it off the boards. D'Souza will get that one in deep and go for a change. The Owls first line starting to get back out there.
Yeah, what a great shift, though, there from Maddie D'Souza. Honestly, gave the Owls a lot of good life with a nice attacking opportunity. She kind of had to do it herself, but succeeded in the end.
Ian Tosco loses the puck. Now here's Linz Bickler. She'll shoot. That one goes wide. And now controlled by Reese. She'll try and throw one back in deep. Evans chips that one ahead. Here's Ian Tosca. Shoots one, and the save is made by Sutherland. Finke takes the contact on the boards, taken away by Norwich. Lead pass deflected by too far for Ricker. Now here's Boyer in the corner. Another multiplayer scrum that goes out to the stick of Ava Iantowska, the captain of this Owls team. Toe drags around the player but loses the puck momentarily. And now Norwich will control that pass, intercepted by Kenzie Good. And she is offsides. So the Owls not quick enough to get back. Still some real strong pressure from that first line as well. Always started by Maddie D'Souza, really upping the pace for Keene State here.
Yeah, really good move there from Kenzie Good to win that back. Unfortunately, she was offside. And then, but Keene State, honestly, I feel like showing a lot more attacking pressure so far this period. Following the goal, they've shown a lot more options than I felt like they showed in the first period, which is good when you're down against one of the best teams in the nation.
Their third shot on goal. Sutherland was able to turn away the shot by Ian Tosca. Chung will tie this one up. Obviously, the first shot they had on goal was from Brianna Finke. That one found the back of the net on the power play to tie things up in the first. Since then, have only been able to get two other shots on goal. Off the draw, a shot, and a save by Chung on McIntyre. That puck was still loose. A very early whistle there. Lucky break for Keene State.
Yeah, definitely a lucky break there. Tri Chung's very happy about that. She's got to be just absolutely gassed back there in front of the goal. And I think she is. If you look at her, she's taking a little rest there on top of the iron.
That one through the crease. Mallory Stewart's the first one there. That one played ahead. Looking for Tabby Jones, but taken back by Norwich. Here's Stewart. Right over the outlet, center ice, chipped away. Here's Jones. She'll get that one in deep. Good job there. And now a puck that's squeezed out in front of the net, covered by Sutherland, and the Owls will have an offensive zone face-off.
Keene State needs to just keep working on getting these offensive zone face-offs. I'm confident they could get another one here if they, keep kind of focusing on that, trying to do that for them.
Well, if you touch back on Chung being tired for that face-off, I wouldn't doubt it. 25 saves already, only 7 minutes into the second period. The Owls have two other goalies dressed tonight. It's Lilia Tambourine, the freshman, and Abby Tanner also dressing tonight. McKenna Montgomery not in uniform. Tabby Jones will play that one back into the corner. Maddie D'Souza in pursuit. Now at center ice, Norwich lifts to control. Here's Linsbickler trying to make a move, goes to the far boards. Lyles couldn't handle that one. Here's Wiseman, the whistle blown. And we're going to get a penalty called for a body check. That one will go on Maddie D'Souza. And the Owls will be shorthanded for the first time tonight.
This is not what Keene State needs if they want to stay in this game. They really got to focus now on getting that penalty kill. They have this their first penalty. Technically, they're at least Norwich's first power play. We had those penalties earlier. Keene State responded off their power play, got their goal, and we had the other two penalties with DeMeo as well. But that evened out to 4-on-4.
Yeah,
so this is really the chance. The first time we've seen Norwich on the power play.
Here's Tuzik walking the blue line. She'll step in, shoots, and the save is made and deflected out into the protective netting. So 12:27 to go here in the second. And the 8 seconds have passed on the power play. Norwich out shooting the Owls 28-3, which is a set of numbers us people in New England love to see. Here's Tuzik. Over to Lisa. Up top, back to Tuzik. She'll shoot. That one goes in. Wow, what a shot by Lauren Tuzik from the point. It's 3-1 Norwich.
Tuzik barely in front of the blue line. Just rips an absolute missile in the top left corner. And that one, Chung couldn't do anything about it. Only good thing here now is Keene State's back to full strength.
That one might have been deflected out in front by Gina Cookingham. She led the line, and it was her who did get a tip on it. Second goal of the year for the freshman. And so now Norwich, a little bit of insurance here in the second period. Now the Owls on the offensive attack early, taken back by Norwich. Here's Hutmaker. Now Hutmaker goes down and slow to get up. Not a good sight for Norwich. A penalty will be called on Keene. That was Cookingham on the power play. Hutmaker will step off to the bench. Ellie Patrick will take a seat. Under 12 minutes to go now in the second period.
Good to see Hutmaker okay. It was a pretty gnarly hit there. And
yeah.
Looked like she could have been really hurt. Good that she skated off the ice just fine, and it doesn't even. Looks like she's getting tended to by the trainer, but not sure what that verdict will come to.
So Patrick, 2 minutes for the body check. Another power play here for Norwich. Here's Leslie. Up top. Emmons cross ice, no one there. Pass back, Chung wasn't ready for it to hit off her skate. Now here's Emmons, shoots a tip on goal, the rebound, they score! Brianna Ricker has two, and just like that, this one has blown open. It's 4-1 Cadets.
Danny Emmons did a good job to get the puck into a dangerous area there. And then, in reality, Norwich gets their goal to keep extending their lead. We knew this was coming at some point. It was just a matter of time with the absolute, complete landslide of goals or of shots that have been taken by Norwich.
Keene State will take a timeout. We'll see if they'll make a goalie change. Ai Chung looks a little tired out there. She wasn't ready for an initial shot during that power play. Obviously, that wasn't the result of the goal, but nonetheless, she's faced 30 shots, not even 8.5 minutes into the second period.
Yeah, I think Keene State now just needs to focus on playing to the best of their abilities and learning from this game. When you're facing one of the top 20 teams in the country, you've got a lot to learn, especially in your second year as a program. Many of these girls hadn't played college hockey prior to this, so you've got a lot to learn, and it's teams like this that get you better. They got their big wins, their first two games over Hilbert, and those games are great for the confidence, but it's these games that you learn where your mistakes are, especially as we head into the rest of the LEC. Norwich stands as the best team by far in the LEC, so if you can hang with them like they did in the first period, gives you a lot of confidence, but then they'll expose your mistakes, and you can learn from those.
There were games like that last year for Keene State women's hockey. They played two top five teams, Williams and Bowdoin. They lost both those games 9-0. But obviously, building blocks. You take the positives from that game. You learn. You move on. Bowdoin was number 2 in the country at the time when they came here to Keene Ice. But it's really, games like that, games like this that really teach you some things.
The other thing is you look at when their big losses have came, how they've responded. They lost 6-0 to Plymouth State, then followed that up with a win in overtime. Yeah. Lost 4-0 to Western New England, then beat Riv twice in a row.
Over the line, controlled now by Jordan Brady. Here's Tuzek. Chung turns it away, leaves the rebound and makes the follow-up save. A miscommunication there between Ai Chung and her defenseman. Ian Tosca loses the battle on the boards. DeMeo plays it back up, taken back by Norwich. The shot is gloved by Chung.
A little bit of what I like to call a kerfuffle going on over there between Binky and I think Jordan Brady as they both head to the bench here. Referee had to break it up.
And definitely some frustration brewing for the Owls here tonight as this game is starting to slip away from them in the second. Still only a 3-goal deficit. Plenty of hockey left. 31 minutes of it to be exact. That one played down and will be called for icing. Norman was unable to beat it out. And so we'll be back in the Owls zone.
It'll be interesting here to see how Keene State continues to weather the storm. They've 31 shots on goal so far, but only 4 of those going in the back of the net, so it's been good. However, Keene State struggling to do pretty much anything offensively outside of Brandon Fickey's goal earlier.
In the corner, Wiseman took the long. Beastrom fired it into the skates of Sage. And now that one mishandled by McNeil. She's able to get it in deep. Sutherland will play it from her forward. Here is Sage, the extra skater for Norwich. Good, able to get a stick on it. Knocked away by Norwich. Here's D'Souza. Up ahead for Norman. Chips that one along. Spinelli able to get that one deep. Still putting on the pressure on Maggie Hunter. Now losing her stick and players going down. That's Spinelli. And creating the line, McCluskey. Here is Hunter. Shot deflected just wide. Now that's Sophia Nelson battling with Maggie D'Souza. Spinelli unable to get the puck out. And nice move there. Trying to get one in on goal, and it ends up being covered by Ai Chung.
Yeah, I think it's important for Ai Chung to keep her head up so far. It's tough letting in this many goals. Well, but granted, she's had the game of her life.
Yeah.
Talk about a highlight reel tape. You could probably make a whole highlight tape just from this game and not have to submit any other games from the rest of the season. you could have a pretty good reel.
The Owls had a game almost like this last weekend, the second game against Hilbert, where they only won 1-0. They had 86 total shot attempts, 63 shots on goal.
At the same time, it's very frustrating to be in Norwich's position in this case, too, because you know you're outplaying. The Owls, however, struggling to get many to go back in the net.
Now working behind the net, that's Lisak. Backdoor pass, too far for Cunningham, or pardon me, Cookingham. That one leave the zone, no it did not. The puck. Norwich is still onside, they didn't know that. Here's Finke, a pick there, and Tosca goes down, and the Owls will go to the power play. So Ian Tosca gets interfered with there at center ice.
Smart move there, though, from Ian Tosca.
Yeah.
I think she kind of knew that was going to happen. She created the space for Finke to go up the ice and then ended up drawing the penalty, which is perfect for Keene State. They were successful on their last penalty and their last power play, so maybe they get one back here in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. Second crack at the Sullivan Tire power play for Keene State. As Norman looks ready to take the draw.
Norwich also been successful on the power play as well, with one of their goals coming from a power play. So it's been the story of the power plays today.
A little clock malfunction. It is not 5-on-3 for 2 seconds. It is, as there is the power play up for 2 minutes. That one goes on Lisak for interference. Here's good working in the corner. Edmonds now. Norwich sending 2 players to pressure on the penalty kill. Not really a strategy you see most of the time, but in a game that they really control, it's not too surprising. That one taken back. Now here come the Cadets. Ricker tries to center run. Here's Boyer. He should drop it out of the zone, and Norwich will just control the puck. Edmonds now. Finds James, who will chip that one in deep. Spinelli and Norman go for a change to try and get the Irish Stars back out there.
Yeah, I think it's an important time to get the first line back onto the ice for the Owls to try to take advantage of this power play.
McIntyre's shot goes wide. Here's Finke. Chipped along by Patrick. Here's Ian Tosca. Leaves it for Price. Price couldn't get the shot off. Good defensive play there, and it's thrown back down ice by Norwich. Now here's D'Souza. Plenty of open ice ahead of her. She'll fire one. That one deflected and into the netting. Yeah, we'll get an offensive zone face-off. 38 seconds left on the power play. 7:32 to go in the middle frame.
Yeah, but now the line change coming now for the Owls. So their second line coming back on the ice. It'll be interesting to see what they can do here.
And Norman's line back out there. The second power play unit for the Owls. Edmonds and Good on the back end. Here is Good. She'll work that one into the zone. Spinelli able to get it back in between the circles, but taken back by Norwich. Thrown down ice, is it on net? It is, so no icing. Still chasing after it is Ricker. And here's Spinelli. Drops it for Jones. Trying to make a move. That pass deflected and into the far corner.
Keene State definitely found more success as the penalty has been killed now, but definitely found more success during that power play, but still didn't get a shot off goal. Only 3 so far still in the game. Outscored by 10 times, or outshot by 10 times right now.
It's really these types of games where you see what your competition is like for a season, now in a real conference, a very strong conference, the LEC. 6.5 minutes to go here in the second period. Controlled now by Blair. Here's Wesley. Across the Reese. Down low. Shot by Brooks, and the save is made by Chung.
Yeah, Chung has had, I feel like she's had a more chill last couple minutes, last 4 or 5 minutes. The power play helped her out. So hopefully she can build off of maybe a little bit of a relaxation time for her. And she did make a very nice save there, so we'll see if she can keep doing that. As we got only 6 minutes left here in the second period.
The top angle shot by Brooks, trying to find that short side corner. Chung did a good job hugging her post. And that was when the draw back. That's Patrick with the face-off win. Ricker able to take it away. That puck bounces on the back of the net. Controlled now by Bistrom. Now here's McNeil. Bistrom on net. Wiseman. Kept in by Norwich. Pass too far for Ricker. Good stick there by Bistrom. Another scrum there in the corner. Puck comes out to the stick of Brooks. Finds some space. Boyer shoots. Couldn't get too much on it. It goes wide. Here is Bistrom. McNeil. Unable to get out again. A good step there by Ellen Rees. Now back into the Owls' opposite corner. Here's Ellie Patrick. We broke 5 minutes of play left in the second period. Here's Lorelai Norman. McNeil dumps that one in deep. She'll go for a change. Now with open ice, here's Alex Leslie. Steps back ahead and body contact at the blue line. Is it offsides or a penalty? We'll see. It will be a penalty.
Yeah, not the smartest move there coming from Emily Edmonds. Emily Edmonds got away with it a little bit then there too. But the penalty will go on Norwich.
There was a body check at the blue line. It was instigated by Marshall Linsbichler. So the Owls will get another crack at the power play. Down 4:54 to go here in the second. As they win the draw here, and here's Patrick D'Souza. Finke shoots and no one's turned aside.
Really well done there by Finke. Just try to get something going for the Owls.
Now D'Souza trying to take down Lauren Tuzik, and she'll get called for the penalty there. Not a smart play by Maddie D'Souza right off the blue line.
Yeah, now Maddie D'Souza going back into the box for the second time this game. So clearly the idea of a penalty to stop behavior from happening did not work there for Maddie D'Souza, as it's really been the story of not smart penalties. It's not been, especially for the Owls. We saw DeMayo went in for kind of just extracurriculars. D'Souza's now gone in twice for extracurriculars. It hasn't really came down to, just like an interference or a tripping. It's more things that, coaching staffs won't be happy about. And I'd be curious to see what Rob Morgan will think about that. We'll have to ask him in the post-game show.
Norwich already 2 for 2 on the power play. They'll have about 20 seconds of power play time, a minute and a half left of 4-on-4 action. Iron Tosca gets that one in deep. She'll chase after it. Now Finke will be the first one there. Trying to make a move. Good play there by Boyer. And now here comes Brooks. Finke on her tail. Unable to get the shot off, but Finke will be calling for a penalty there. And rough contact behind the net on Olivia Brooks.
Great defensive play, though, however, from Finke. And I think she just tried to finish that play out a little bit too hard. And then gets called for the penalty. Now, this will be interesting because it will be 5-on-3 here in a minute and 7 seconds. 4-on-3. 4-on-3 for now, 5-on-3 in a little bit.
Yeah, it was 5 on 3 for about 20 seconds. Then Norwich will go to the regular man advantage for the remaining time. 4 minutes to go here in the second period. Norwich still leading the Owls 4-1.
I think it's just could come down to just a lot of frustration from Owls players. As the timeout's called, I think this time by Norwich.
Yeah, they'll try and draw for play here on the 4-on-3 offensive zone face-off. Getting up the whiteboard.
Yeah, but also just a really good chance, honestly, for Keene State to try to catch their breath, relax a little bit, cool their heads off a little bit as well. I mean, I'm sure the coaching staff is not happy with the decisions that are being made on the ice because it's gone past what hockey is so far.
There's definitely been some unnecessary physical play from both teams. There's the second all-time meeting, technically, between Norwich and Keene State. Obviously, Keene State opened their women's program against Norwich in an exhibition. They lost 5-1 last year. But now the first regular season meeting between the two teams. And right now, Hilbert seems to be in control.
Now here is a chance as it's going to be 4-3 for now to start the period, or not the period, but rather the timeout here. And then it'll switch to 5-on-3 for just a couple seconds and then go back to 5-on-4. And then we'll get back to full strength. So a lot of weird nuances going on here in Keene as we are back underway.
Here's Amons up top. Leslie shoots. That one goes wide. Here's Rees. Back up to Leslie. Here now Emmons. Cross ice top the circle. That shot deflected and out of play off the stick of Caroline DeMeo. Good defensive play there.
Yeah, great defensive play there from DeMeo to just get in front of the puck, make sure that Chung didn't have to make a save. As a goalkeeper in soccer, I know it's a different game, but I would always rather my defense to make the save for me. Don't let it get to me and I'm happy. If I don't touch the ball during the game, I'm happy. And I'm sure Chung, after touching it 35 plus times, I'm sure is definitely okay with that as well.
Here's Leslie. Amons. Reese now. Good puck movement by the 3 Norwich defenders as the shot goes through the crease. I believe Chung got a piece of it. Boyer out there as a bumper. The Owls really locking her down in the triangle, and Chung will swallow that one up for the whistle. .310 to go here in the second. 17 seconds left of 4-on-3 play. There'll be 21 seconds then of 5-on-3 action for the remaining 50 seconds of regular power play for Norwich. Up top, here's Tuzik. She'll get a return pass. Thought about shooting it, didn't. Brooks, that one blocked by Norman. So great job by Keene State on this shift, getting in front of shots and blocking them. Here's Lisak. Back up top, Tuzik. 5-on-3 now. Tuzik the follow-up, another block. 2 blocks in a row for Keene State. Now here's Brooks. Tuzik. Lisak. Fires one through a screen. Chung finds it.
Well done there by Chung as we've got 1 more second left of where it's going to be 5-on-3. So practically 5-on-4 for now for at least the next 35 seconds.
Always tricky to get a stoppage like that with 1 second on the penalty kill because you're still 5-on-3 in your own end and you have to have the player come from the box. It's still, you're really at a disadvantage unless you win the draw, which Norwich now wins the draw. So now you're at a disadvantage still. Here's Stewart coming out. The shot is deflected wide.
The other thing is in this period too, where the bench is further away, makes it a little bit of a different situation too, but the Owls weathered that storm. just like they've kind of done all game with the Norwich attack.
And 10 seconds left on the man advantage. That one deflected wide as well. It's always tough changing, especially on special teams in the second period, especially on the penalty kill, really. The Owls kill off a 4-on-3 and then a 5-on-3 as well. It's a power play, so 3 kills for Keene State.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're Keene State, you got to be really happy with that.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest takeaways so far of the game for Keene State is they've been able to kill a crazy moment of a lot of different penalties coming, and then also getting your star player, Brianna Finke, back onto the ice.
Here's Cookingham, takes a hit, goes down. The shot goes through the crease. And then here's Brooks. Finds some open ice. Brooks making a move, pass back door, never got through. Now Finke will control. Tries to center one there. Here's Linsbickler. The save is made by Chung. The follow-up still alive, and Chung gloves it. Steps out of her crease, and we'll get some late shoves after the whistle.
Chung. Are there any more words needed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
A smart play there by her as well, as when she made the save, she knew to get out of that scrum skate to the corner. Catch a little bit of breath here. The referee talking with Brianna Finke. And she'll go off for a change. .108 to go here in the second period. The shots, Norwich 41, Keene State 3. The score, 4-1. That shot goes wide off the stick of Lane. Now battling in the corner, under a minute to go here in the middle frame. Now players going down in the corner, good fighting for it. Linsbickler trying to get a shot, it goes wide. Not too much on that. Nice move there by Lyles. Her pass couldn't get through, but here's another shot. That one blocked as well.
Yeah, that block coming from number 7, Emily Edmonds, who, against Plymouth State, sorry I was lagging, against Plymouth State, got her first career goal the other day. Big win there for the Owls, as this one's going to go down for an icing.
11 seconds left in the period. The Owls have really done well blocking shots. 3 Owls with 3 blocks apiece. Kensley Good, Ellie Patrick, and Tilde Beestrom. All have 3 block shots. So obviously 41 have gotten to Chung. She's made 37 saves, but could be a lot more without the help of her defenseman.
Here's a good chance. 11 seconds. Keene State basically nothing to lose here. Handed an offensive face-off here for them, but they lose the face-off. So now Norwich is probably just going to run out the time for the rest of the period. Or go try to score another goal.
Chasing after it, Linsbickler.